Greetings everyone. We're Hispanic Culture Arts and we're coming to you from Poe Park in the vibrant borough of the Bronx. And today we're going to be doing a dance and music concert for you in honor of Hispanic Heritage Month 2020. This concert is being brought to you by the New York City Parks, the Bronx Council for the Arts, in collaboration with the Balam Dance Theater. I'm Anna Tonna, vocalist. Carlos Fittante, dancer. Yumiko Niimi, dancer. Pianist, Pablo Zinger. Percussionist, Danny Mallon. And I present to you Spanish dance artist Ana de la Paz, who's going to tell you about our round trip journey.
Hello, so happy to be here to share with you the beautiful and colorful dances and songs of the Hispanic world. We're here to tell you a story, and stories for us are very important for human beings because we need stories to understand our experiences, to make sense of the past and the present and even our future. So we're here to tell you a story, not with words but with music and dance, and it's going to be a journey. It's going to be a journey from the old world to the new world, spanning hundreds of years. Some of it you may recognize, some of it will be brand new. We will start our journey and our story in Lima, Peru in the 18th century with an interpretation of Bishop Martinez Codex, which is an archival source of local songs and dances. And the musical arrangement is by Tom Zajac, and the choreography is from Baroque dance artist Carlos Fittante.
My name's Carlos Fittante. I'm the artistic director of Balam Dance Theater and a Baroque dance specialist. So while the Peruvian suite of dances you just saw were happening in the New World, in European courts they were enjoying fashionable French social dances like the contra dance. Stories of the Americas captured the imagination of courtiers all over Europe, and they made dances to honor them. I'm going to show you two short contra dances. One is called Cotillion for the King, and the other is called La Mississippi, named after our great river. Before dancing, you would always begin with a bow. So let me teach you how to do a Baroque bow. You're going to step to the side and present yourself. If you're a man, you're going to tip from the hips, look at your partner, and then bring your leg behind you. For the lady, you'll step to the side, then assemble your position and your hands, bend your knees, lower your eyelids, and then smile at your partner. Now I will dance for you.
We're about to perform for you right now a piece known as an habanera. An habanera literally means something that is from Havana, Cuba. And the habanera is derived from the contra dance, which you just saw Carlos dance. And this contra dance travels from across the street from Europe to the Americas and lands in the island of Cuba, where it's interpreted by musicians and dancers there, some of them of African origin. And the habanera transforms and acquires a very catchy rhythm. It's rechristened from the contra dance to habanera, and it becomes all the rage through Europe and the Americas. And another tidbit that we found out about La Paloma, which we're about to perform for you, a Mexican emperor who suffered defeat right before his execution asked the band to play this song for him. La Paloma by Sebastián Iradier.
Cuando dibujado, el alma mía me ha regalado el papelítico certificado de que la guerra ha terminado. Con 3 obleas me lo han pegado y repegado.
Magnificent, magnificent. Bravo, bravo, bravo. Okay, great. Good.
Another dance craze that emerged in the 1700s is the fandango. Extending throughout the Hispanic-speaking world, the fandango is actually a result of the African slave trade. Cultivated in different port cities like Cádiz in Spain, Veracruz in Mexico, Sao Paulo in Brazil, and Havana in Cuba, from there it extended. So the fandango is, it's all about the creative interactions among all the different cultures, among the Spanish and the African and the indigenous cultures. And it's like a large family. The fandango reflects its diversity. So depending where the fandango took root, it developed differently. It might have developed as classical music, or as the son jarocho, or joropo in Venezuela, or flamenco. And so it had a very, very different musical expressions. Today I'm going to dance a fandango from a zarzuela called Doña Francisquita. Zarzuela is Spanish musical theater. I hope you enjoy it. you could see in that fandango, the castanets are very prominent. Castanets are classical instruments and folkloric instruments that are used to accentuate the rhythmic complexity of a dance, in this case of the fandango. It adds layers of complexity. So, castanets, we put them on our thumbs. The left hand is called the macho, or male, and the right hand is the female. They both work together. So the left hand always holds the beat, and the right hand will add the layers and the flowers. Okay, so the right hand you would articulate each finger, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and go faster. Or you have golpes, which are just castanets both striking, or one at a time. Or choque. Choque can be on the castanet or on the arms, shoulders, leg. So you play with it. And so this fandango, we played with the rhythm through the castanets. And a lot of the Hispanic dances, the rhythm is a very, very important part of the driving force of the Hispanic dances. And rhythm dancers, they tell their stories through their bodies and through their feet. Because a long time ago, drums used to tell the stories through the beat of the drum, but drumming was prohibited. It was illegal in a lot of countries and a lot of places around the world. It became illegal. There were laws against drumming because it was associated with the enslaved African culture. So what did people do? They put the rhythm in their bodies and in their feet. And so there are many different iterations of footwork dances. You have the zapateado in Mexico. You have the zapateo in Peru. You have flamenco in Spain. You have American tap dance. So what I thought I would do is I'm going to show you some footwork, and I'm going to show it to you in a very recognizable Mexican dance called the jarabe tapatio. And Pablo will accompany me, and you will hear how it fits in. So, the basic footwork is golpe, tacón, golpe, golpe, tacón, golpe, golpe, tacón, golpe, golpe, tacón, golpe, golpe. Go faster, and then you can move your hips. So Pablo will accompany me with the jarabe tapatio.
Our next song is Estrellita by Manuel Ponce. Ponce, who's from Mexico, used harmonies from popular folk songs of his country, and his song Estrellita is known all over the world, has been played and sung by people the world over, classical and pop musicians alike, and it is Ponce's most well-known melody.
Estrellita del lejano cielo, que sabes mi dolor, que sabes mi sufrir, baja y dime si me quieres un poco. Estrellita del lejano cielo, que miras mi dolor, que sabes mi sufrir, baja y dime Ay, dime si me quieres.
La Mangolina is a folkloric dance that originates from the southern part of the island of La Española, and it is performed usually with an accordion, a guira, a balse, and a tambourine. This particular Mangolina was collected by Dominican composer and musicologist Julio Alberto Hernandez, and the text tells the story of a lover, who is asking a bird to please convey a message of love to his loved one. La Mangolina that we're singing today is called Pajarito Encantador from the Dominican Republic.
Ya se va a acabar. Pajarito cantador, que vienes y vas volando, ven y dile a mi amor que yo la estoy esperando para que bailemos juntos esta alegre mangolina y comamos un sancocho de tocino y de gallina. A la mangolina vamos a bailar este ritmo alegre que no tiene igual. Ven acá, muchacho, vamos a gozar, que la mangolina ya se va a acabar, que la mangolina ya se va a acabar, que la mangolina ya se va a acabar. ¡Corta!
So I want to go back to those footwork dances, those rhythm dances that we introduced earlier, like the jarabe tapatio from Mexico. I'm going to be dancing a zapateado, which is a footwork dance from the south of Spain, of Andalusia. And I'm wearing pants and a sombrero cordobés. The word sombrero literally means shade maker. And it originated, this type of hat originated in Cordoba, in the south of Spain, maybe in the 1700s, and it was primarily used by field workers. And they designed a hat that would protect them in inclement weather. So they didn't want a hat that would blow off in the windy day or lose its shape, so they made a suede hat that was sturdy enough. And then this hat traveled across the Atlantic, and it had its own development in other countries. For example, in Mexico you have the Mexican hat, or later in the United States, the Western cowboy hat. So I will be dancing first a zapateado, and then I will accompany singer Anna Tonna and the pianist Pablo Zinger and percussionist Danny Mallon in a song called La Tarántula. And that's from a zarzuela, or Spanish musical theater. And the Tarántula, the song is about the wicked ways of that spider, of the tarantula. But it's actually about the dangers of falling in love.
Yes! Yes! Bravo!
La tarántula invece es muy malo, no se mata con piedra ni palo. Huye, se mete por todos los rincones, en sus mamalinas, sus picapones. Ay, madre, no sé qué tengo que allí pase morre a ella. Y aprendí bajito a enterarme, pero más de la tembla ella. Para que me había picado la tarántula gallina, y estoy te cogí enfermado por su sangre tan endina. Te come la que maldita la araña, que te la berriga, pita la guitarra, vaya tú se cura tallando dolor. ¡Hey! Malena la araña que a mí me picó. No le temo ni rayos ni balas, ni le temo otra cosa más mala. Que mito mi padre más guapo que el gallo, pero ese bichito lo parto un rayo. Ay, marino, ay, maleta, me has entrado unos suores que me han dejado seco y con mi hijo de picores. Pero también me han picado la tarántula gallina y por eso no me he quedado más largado que una sardina. Te come la que partiste la raya, que te la barriga, pita la guitarra, bailando se cura todo tu dolor. ¡Hey! Malaya la raya que a mí me picó.
So the next piece we are going to do is by one of the greatest composers from Puerto Rico, Rafael Hernandez, born in Aguadilla at the end of the 1800s and lived into the 1960s. And he was not only very famous in Puerto Rico, but also extremely famous in Cuba and Mexico, and lived a good part of his life in New York City, where he wrote many of his songs. And during World War II, he was part of the band called the Harlem Hellfighters that went to entertain the troops during World War I. And this is Lamento Borincano, which means the lament of the Borinqueño, or of the Puerto Rican boy. This is about a peasant who comes to sell his produce in the market, singing very happily at the beginning, but this takes the place in the context of the big financial crisis of 1929. So as he gets to the market, he cannot sell his produce, and he comes back very sad, hoping that things will work out. Something that has a lot of overtones about the situation we are living now.
Déjame que te cante, yo también. Te cante también.
We end our journey with a salsa dance in the New York City style salsa on two, choreographed for me by salsa master Carlos Koenig with music sung by Venezuelan star Eric Franceschi. Fantasia Herida, the dance is called Fantasia de Amor.
A la cita, ¿será que se te olvidó o acaso que no querías? Tal vez de mí no pretenda nada y yo estoy loco por estrenarla. contigo no son iguales. Presiento que ya nunca más lo serán. Ajá. Y presiento que ya nunca más lo serán. De vuelta la tristeza al hombro, fantasía herida. De vuelta con la cara larga y las manos vacías. Y voy perdiéndome por las calles. Si no es contigo no son iguales. Y presiento que ya nunca más lo serán. Ajá. Y presiento que ya nunca más lo serán.
We'd like to thank everyone, all of you, for joining us today this afternoon in our Hispanic Heritage 2020 celebration here at Poe Park in the Bronx, New York. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Oh my God. Good job, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Now that we've done the rehearsal.